Welcome friends back to our vibrato exercises, vibrato tutorials. It's Mr. Olson, and today we're going to be going through our helpful hints. So we've already done some of our motion without the instrument. We've done our motion with the instrument, and we've started to get ourselves the bow involved. And you're probably coming across a couple of things that are kind of difficult for you. So here's a lot of helpful hints, and again, all this is on the information page and instructions that you have linked in the videos. All right, so remember that vibrato comes from a point of relaxation, not from tension. All right, a lot of beginning string players try to do vibrato because they see it happening and they get all tense and they try to shake their hand and shake their instrument. That's not where vibrato comes from. This comes from relaxation. All right, as you're playing though, you got to make sure that you have good posture and good tone. So the most common thing for violins and violas is get their wrists like this. If your wrist is bent like this, waiter or waitress, you're never going to be able to do vibrato. I apologize, but it's not going to work because you got to have your hand has to go from straight to back to be able to make the vibrato happen. And if you're already in the back position, you have nowhere to move from. We also want to make sure we have a good tone. All right, that's going to help us be able to direct our left hand into getting the vibrato to happen. If our bow is kind of warbling all over the place, we're not going to know where to start with getting our technique to improve. All right, as we're playing, again, this is a wrist vibrato focused video, but we have our different kinds of vibrato. We have our wrist vibrato, we have our arm vibrato, and then we have our finger vibrato when we're in way high positions. And you want to make sure that you are have the ability to do all of them. Again, my basic one is the wrist vibrato. Some people's base is the arm vibrato, but we want to have components of all of those to go through our hand. So, next thing is that there are three aspects of vibrato that you want to make sure that you are paying attention to. One is how fast you're going, the speed. We're going to work on that in the rounds of 8 very soon. How wide your vibrato is, narrow or wide. And then your evenness, all right, being really exact and not warbling all over the place. Evenness is the most important aspect of all of these types of vibrato. When you are getting yourself to get better at vibrato, I want you to go through these 3 steps for mastery. Make sure you have the correct motion or the correct form. Then try to add in the speeds. That's what we're going to do in the rounds of 8. And then the last thing is try to incorporate it into your playing. And pretty soon, you're not even going to be thinking about adding vibrato. It's just going to be a part of a natural way that you're playing. When you are playing, cause and effect. Hand moves back, finger rolling is the effect. Moving, fingers moving is effect. All right, so the cause and effect of vibrato. Don't slide that finger. It's got to be in one spot. Not sliding around. That is not vibrato. Again, that angle of the finger, fingernail, finger pad, fingernail, finger pad is super important. And we want to make sure that the first finger in line and rocking back, that first knuckle line. All right, so when we are trying to get our vibrato to happen, remember vibrato, the way our ear hears it, is going to be in tune to slightly flat. If I try to rock forward towards a bridge, our ear hears that as that note going sharp. So remember, it's in tune, slightly back, and then back into tune. All right, when you are playing, again, make sure your thumb is set in position. Cellos and basses have this problem more often than we do as violin and viola players. Their thumb likes to go into no man's land, but we want to make sure our thumb is set in position, not squeezing, but it's set as one of our contact points with the instrument. Now, if you are noticing that there's a lot of extra tension in your hand, you can always vibrate the harmonic. If your bass joint of your hand is noticing that you're actually hitting a point of just they're not moving at all, you can think about rocking or knocking back towards the E-peg. You can kind of hear me knocking. Again, that's kind of I put a quotation because you can't really most people can't get back there. Another thing is when my sons go to the dentist, they usually grab a bouncy ball and they get their teeth cleaned. All right, if they do a good job, all right, you can put that in the crook of your finger And that's another way to kind of get our hand to be relaxed. All right, my motion looks pretty decent there. Can even do that at this side of the instrument. All right, spend lots of time, probably 80% of your time at the side of the instrument if you're doing wrist vibrato, because that's going to definitely get you used to not doing all these duck under ideas. Use different fingers. Pay close attention that your first finger moves the same way as your second finger. Again, first and fourth are going to be the hardest thing to do. And then our last couple ideas are when you're moving to first position, check the position of the wrist. So it's careful that it's going here and not collapsing here or not ducking underneath. And the angle of the finger must change. We're not just shaking our wrist, all right? There's actually a formula to getting it done, all right? The last thing is when you're practicing, always strive for an even and wide sound, and you have the ability to go between the different speeds. It's very important that we start to gain control over the vibrato. Don't just think you got the motion and that's it. All right, there's a lot of artistry that's involved in it, and you can keep evolving your vibrato. A lot of that's going to be done as we dive into the next steps and the rounds of 8. So I'll see you in that video very, very soon. All right, thanks for playing, thanks for participating, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.